that ever come out, do you think?
I think part of why Kamala is getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public.
Yes.
And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Yeah. Do you think Reid Hoffman's uncomfortable?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Gates.
And Gates.
Yeah.
And I only ask that because you just look at them and you're like, that's a nervous person right there. I don't know. I mean, I assume you know them. Yeah.
Yes. Reid Hoffman was my vice president of business development at PayPal.
Yeah.
24 years ago.
Does he seem nervous to you?
Yeah, I mean, he's terrified of a Trump victory.
Because of the disclosure that would follow?
I think he's certainly ideologically not aligned with Trump anyway, but I think he is concerned about the Epstein situation.
Yeah, we got to talk about Reid Hoffman because he recently went on a podcast and had some interesting things to say, especially after you guys just heard what Elon Musk had to say. Now, do I know whether or not he was on the list? I don't have a clue. Nobody does because we don't have the list, which is also quite crazy that we don't have the list of folks, or there aren't more people at minimum in prison, which I guess if they were in prison on trial, we would know, the names that were on the list. But still, it's crazy to think that there are celebrities and politicians and, people who have run countries that have gone to that island and done some despicable things, and nobody's being held accountable for it. Quite wild, isn't it? Kind of interesting how the Democrats come out in here and say, nobody's above the law. Meanwhile, you know what? I'm going to leave that there. Let's check out what Reid Hoffman had to say.
I've been called evil by a number of people on the left.
Really?
Yes, of course. Look, they are wrong that is a necessary correlation, right? But I try to understand people. I understand their perspective. I disagree with it, but I understand it.
You're one of the few people that's still a billionaire and on the left, it seems.
No, I'm not. I actually
in the Valley, especially in this
not
election cycle.
Well,
it's the public-facing people that we see on the podcasts and stuff. And
look, so part of the reason why I think less people were public about it this cycle was because, President Trump was threatening, personal and political retaliation. And so you had to have a certain degree of courage to stand up, right? And courage in the public area, not just courage in taking risks and so forth, but in the public arena for doing that. And so I literally had conversations with billionaires who were like, oh, look, I really applaud what you're doing, and I think what you're doing is that right thing, and that's for you, not for me, right? I mean, trying to get people into it. And so I was aware, and because they kind of did the simple mini-max, and they said, well, if Harris is elected, I won't get penalized for not having supported. And if Trump is elected, I will get penalized. So I'm just going to stand out of it. And
do you think you'll be penalized?
I think that there's a greater than...
He said that that if Kamala won, there would be nobody penalized. Oh, you mean Elon Musk? So what's been happening with Elon Musk? The biggest EV maker wasn't invited to the big EV summit that Biden was at and invited all these different companies to, but the biggest maker of EVs wasn't invited, Elon Musk? You don't think that was political? Kind of interesting. Hypocrisy is rich with that one, but carry on.
50% chance that there will be repercussions from a misdirection and corruption of the institution's estate to respond to my having tried to help Harris get elected.
You must spend time at night thinking about what that might be, because if I would.
Yeah. Well, look, it's a range, and look, I hope that it's only in the soft end of the range, like IRS audits or phone calls like, Trump made saying, deny Bezos that DOD contract because, he owns the Washington Post and I don't like him, that kind of stuff. I hope it's in that arena, right? Could get much worse, but I don't really want to speculate on it because I don't want to give anybody any ideas, right? But I think I would safely win a bet that there will be political repercussions that are essentially undemocratic, un-American,
and direct on you,
and direct to me. Yes, I think I'd safely win that bet. I'm hoping that it's in what I'm terming the soft arena.
Oh, you mean like what they did to Donald Trump the past 4 years? Kind of interesting, isn't it?
You're not planning on leaving the US, are you?
No. Well, my residence outside of Seattle, and we have a constitution, that kind of thing.
Because Mark Cuban was the same, right? Mark Cuban was very public and vocal. He's a billionaire. He was very pro Kamala Harris, very anti-Trump through the cycle. He took a lot of flack as well.
Yes.
I mean, I follow everybody on Twitter, so I watched it play out, and it was kind of like he was stood in no man's land, just taking shots from everywhere.
Yes.
And you were kind of in the same category.
Yes, exactly.
Would have been much easier for you to just shut the fuck up or fall in line or something.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well, but that's the problem. You can't allow that form of neo-fascism, right? It's precisely when you feel fear. I have huge respect for Mark Cuban. When you feel fear, stand up. Because that fear that you're feeling, that's your feeling as a powerful, wealthy person, right? And if you're not going to stand up, who is?
Oh, we are. And we stood up and we spoke loud and clear. Get out of here. That's what we said to Democrats in the Democrat Party. Get out of here, okay? Every state -2, I believe, shifted right. Trump came within 1 million votes in California. Almost flipped New Jersey, okay? Came close in a place like New Hampshire, Virginia, all right? Swept all the swing states. Flipped counties that haven't voted red in years, decades. Trump won them. Flipped them red. Just saying. It's funny how these people, talk about, oh, Trump may go after this person or that person. And it was all fun and games when they were all going after Trump, right? And Trump was on the ropes, because you got Trump in this court and he's got to go to that court and this court over here and he's got to spend money doing this and spend money doing that, spend money hopping on the plane. Like they were literally trying to bankrupt this man and throw him underneath the jail. But we all have heard the saying, it's all fun and games until the rabbit's got the gun. Proverbial gun. I'm not talking about a real one. Just for anybody, I don't want nobody to twist my words. Oh my goodness, he's talking about. No. It's just a saying. I don't mean harming anybody literally, okay? But it's all fun and games until it gets flipped around, isn't it? Kind of interesting how that works.
I'm going to be bringing one against the people in Iowa, their newspaper, which had a very, very good pollster who got me right all the time. And then just before the election, she said I was going to lose by 3 or 4 points, and it became the biggest story all over the world because I was going to win Iowa by 20 points. The farmers loved me, and I loved the farmers. And it was interesting the way she did it. She brought it down 2 weeks before. She said I was going to only win by 4. That was a big story. But that was good because she brought it down from like 22 points to 4 or whatever the number was, way up. Way up, an easy win. Never even thought to go there. I respect them, I love them, and they understand there's no reason to go there because she brought it from way up, walk away, which it was, and it turned out to be in the election too, by the way. It was a win by many, many points. And then she brought it down very smartly to 4 a couple of weeks before, and everyone said, wow, that's amazing. He's only up by 4 points. Then she brought it down to where I was down by 3 or 4, whatever number she used. And that was the Des Moines Register, and it was their parent. And in my opinion, it was fraud, and it was election interference. She's gotten me right always. She's a very good pollster. She knows what she was doing. And she then quit before. And we'll probably be filing a major lawsuit against them today or tomorrow. We're filing one on 60 Minutes, you know about that, where they took Kamala's answer, which was a crazy answer, a horrible answer, and they took the whole answer out and they replaced it with something else she said later on.
Yeah. Ain't no fun when the rabbits got it, right? When things get flipped on their heads and now it's coming after you. Speaking of that, and he alluded to this a little bit there in that video clip you saw, Donald Trump is set to sue the Pollster and Seltzer. All right. The Pollster who predicted Iowa would be won by presidential candidate Kamala Harris a day before the November election has revealed how she has been surprised by backlash. Speaking on an edition of PBS Iowa Press, Ann Seltzer defended her polling methods and hit back at critics who said she should be investigated. I am mystified about the motivation anybody thinks I had and would act on in such a public poll, she said Friday. I don't understand it, and the allegations I take very seriously. They're saying that this was election interference, which is a crime. The idea that I initially set up to deliver this response when I've never done that before. I've had plenty of opportunities to do it. It's not my ethic. The poll that shocked online communities and people across America showed the Democrats winning by 3 points. Among those who accused Seltzer of electoral fraud was President-elect Donald Trump, a totally fake poll that caused great distrust and uncertainty at a very critical time, he said after he had won. She knew exactly what she was doing. Thank you to the great people of Iowa for giving me such a great record-breaking vote, despite possible election fraud by Ann Seltzer and now the discredited newspaper for which she works. An investigation is fully called for. Hey, listen, I agree. If you did nothing wrong, why are you worried about having an investigation? Nobody said you're going to get charged with anything. Nobody said that, we're going to put you in prison. They just simply said, hey, we're going to investigate this. We're going to look into things. How in the world did this happen? I agree with that. I agree with it. And anybody who doesn't agree, why? What do you have to hide? If there's nothing there, it's the same thing with Reid Hoffman. What do you have to hide? Why are you concerned with an IRS audit? Are you above IRS audits? I'm just saying. I mean, it was actually your party, the Democrat Party, that wanted more IRS agents, correct? You guys remember that whole story where they wanted to hire 80,000 more IRS agents. So it was your party that wanted that and pushed for that. So, hey, put the IRS agents to use and have them audit you. What's wrong with that? Just investigating, just checking on things, making sure things are on the up and up. Same thing with Ann Seltzer. Let's make sure there was no collusion. Let's make sure she didn't, receive a couple of dollars, receive some of that dinero in exchange for, a fluff piece poll right before the election. Let's just make sure nobody exchanged money or favors for propaganda right before an election. I'm just saying. Nothing wrong with investigating that. But, apparently these folks are so scared. Oh, my goodness, Trump bad. He's investigating. He's looking into things. Okay. Y'all look to this man. They have looked into this man's entire life. They know what color drawers this man wears, what socks he wears. The one, they know which sock he puts on his left foot, which one he puts on his right. They know everything about this man. And it's all of a sudden now wrong that he's investigating them. Interesting how that works. I'm just saying. I'm going to sit back and eat my popcorn and enjoy the show. What say you? Peace and love. I'm out.